To a great start. As usual, I wanted to do an early stream. Pardon me while I get a quick drink of water. Anyway, I wanted to do an early stream because I had a small block of time. And again, I know that when I do the stream normally, a lot of people can't tune in because it's late for them, or, literally middle of the night or early morning, or, just a bad, during the week maybe they're at work. I don't know. Everybody has different schedules for different things. So I thought, okay, I've got about 30, 40 minutes. Let me go ahead and do an early stream because, whatever. Basically I have the time right now, so why not go ahead and do it? I'm looking at that's funny. I was just looking at a piece of art somebody posted. Anyway, so I figured, do an early stream. You have this little block of time. Why not? There's no reason not to. You have the time. At which point I realized several things. One, that my iPad is not charged very much. So I actually have it plugged in. I'm going to plug it in right up until the point when I do the conversion over. But it's at about, let's take a look. It's at about 40%. So I think it'll make it through this particular stream. But if I'd had a brain in my head, I would have charged it yesterday. And I didn't. Because I had the thought that I might stream today. I didn't know for sure, but had an idea that the time might be available. So if I had been planning ahead, I would have done that. Of course, I did not because I'm a dope. So we will see what, I think it'll last. I think it will make it. I just don't know. But so this may be a shorter stream than I even planned. I'm planning about. At this point, I got rolling a little late. Probably only maybe 30 minutes or so. So it's not going to be a particularly long stream. I'll just warn everybody of that ahead of time. Not if there's any. Oh, yeah, there is somebody here. Hello, person who showed up. Again, I wish it would tell you somewhere who is. There's no names. I don't know if that's a setting. I really don't think it is. I think it's just something that I don't think it has names, which is sort of weird to me that it wouldn't. I still find this odd that it won't. I'm just looking at it. Yeah, I don't see. No, this is fine. It's not that. I find it very odd that it doesn't have a viewer. Let me just make sure. There's not a window, right? I don't think so. I don't think there is a. Maybe there is. Let's find out together right now. Can I add a layer that tells me names? See, no, I don't know. Maybe you're not seeing this. I'm looking at the list of things that you can add to the Twitch Studio interface or layout, and I don't see anything. There's a chat box, but that doesn't have names because there's nobody in there yet. And it webcam browser source. No, there's nothing here. Color gradient media countdown goal browser. No, there's no. Then there's a generic alerts thing, alerts section, but that alerts section does not appear to in any way indicate who the people are. So I don't know. I keep meaning to look this up, and I always forget because ultimately it doesn't really matter in the course of the stream. So I don't worry about it too much because there's. Oh wait, show viewers list. Wait a minute. Well, that was there. Now see, okay. Tell me this makes sense. Just as a short aside, there's a chat window in here. And if I click the three dots in our chat window, it says show viewer list. Well, okay, it says users in chat. Oh, no way. There can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are there really 7 people? That can't be right. Are there really 7 people? Because it says 1 viewer. Are there 7 people in the chat? I have a really hard time believing that. I mean, maybe, if there are, hello, good morning. That can't be right. There cannot be 7 people in here. There really can't. I don't believe that. I mean, that's great if there are, but... Hey, what's happening, Will? How you doing? Okay, Will, because you could tell me this. How many people do you show watching this thing right now? I honestly don't care. I'm here. All right, that's fine. Screw it. Let's go. I'm not going to worry about this anymore. I'm way over analyzing something that honestly is not a big deal. Let me unplug the iPad here. Okay, 1. That's what I thought. So I don't know what that other thing is telling me. Fake metrics. Fake metrics, everybody. I don't know what it is, but it ain't that. So that's fine. Whatever. We're just going to roll ahead on this thing. Okay. All right. So here we go. Jeez. Why we get wrapped up in this? Let's see. What's my power level at the moment? Let's see what the old iPad's 42%. All right. Life, the universe, and everything. We'll see if it works as a battery percentage. All right, let's keep going on the skull because, like I said, I don't know how long the iPad's going to last. So it generally starts to heat up after a little bit. There's a list of frequent viewers that have what? Yeah, maybe that's it. You know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. I did. Here, I'll show everybody this. Yesterday, I am doing well. Outside of the fact that, as usual, my stream is a train wreck. But you know what else is new? Where did I put? I finished adapting the Elas il-Kor to a circular motif so that it would be good for stickers or shirts. This took a lot more work than I expected. Actually, maybe I'm not quite done. I think I have to fix the glass colors. Don't quite make sense to me. Hold on a minute. I guess I can just do this while we're here. Sky glass. All right, there's the sky glass. I think I would want the light clouds to be inverted. Let me take a look. Yes, that makes more sense to me. Because if the light parts of the sun are white glass, then the white clouds should be, but they are probably too bright. Stained glass is not usually quite that harsh. Some is. So I don't think I did my drop downs on the percentages. Let's do that so that we're at a good percentage. Wait, I just did both, didn't I? Yeah, that should be inverted the other way. There we go. And that one we can leave up. I don't mind that. There we go. Okay, so now the white parts are white. The light parts are white. And the dark parts are dark. So anyway, I finished that yesterday. This took a... Boy, I had to redo a lot of stuff. Is that glass bleeding over? Did I not erase the glass, or is that just what it looks like? Hold on a minute. That doesn't look right to me. No, I think... Oh, you know what? No, that's right. That's right. It's just over the coloring. Okay. Yeah, no, that's just the glass. Although that wouldn't... Let me fix that. I don't think that would... No, that would not be there. Whoa, that is way too heavy an eraser. Hold on, sorry. Way too heavy an eraser. No, that shouldn't be coloring that. The red should be separate from the clouds. So let's fix that. This took a long... I mean, this is where I burned up most of my battery yesterday, honestly. Was doing this. Because I had to redo virtually all the glass parts. And... Which the glass itself, the initial glass parts, they're not difficult. Not really. What does take forever is making sure that they're not all of the same type. Meaning, I think I've explained this before, so sorry for repeating. But you see, okay. So, you can see here, this glass kind of blends together. So this makes, and I'll just illustrate very quickly with an actual pen thing. There we go. So this all makes sense. This flows, right? You can see that. But then the trick is to segment different parts. So like in here, you'll see this does not flow to that. That's two separate pieces of glass. This does not flow into that. So you basically got 1, 2, 3, and 4 different pieces of glass. So each of those I have to go in by hand and erase each section. So that takes a little while. Yeah, not a terrible thing, but it just takes a long time to do it properly. And because I'm extraordinarily overly anal about these things, which I am, something that nobody else would see, I'll know it's there, so I have to fix it. I can't leave it. Even though it really doesn't actually have any impact, a material impact on the image. It just can't stay. So, you know, it's a hang-up of mine. So for an example, if I do this, let's say I erase that, right? Now that see this tiny little red spot right there? Zoomed out, you can't see it. You can't see that. Nobody would see that but me. But I know it's there, so I gotta get rid of it. I gotta get rid of it. It's gotta go. Because otherwise it'll eat at me. Well, this did bleed over a little bit. See, and it's good that I'm going in here, because that's the other part about zooming in. Is it lets me fix all these other errors. Yeah, that's definitely more like what it should be. Let me drop the paint down a little bit. Because actually the paint eraser, this does cut down on time. Because my intent was not to do a whole stream where I'm erasing things. So I don't want to spend the whole time on that. But the more I look at this, yeah, those dark clouds should have their own, because that's supposed to be the sky kind of behind or underneath the clouds, so it should not. I don't know if my original image I actually did that or not. I may have left it. I've also found that I end up modifying quite a bit these images as I'm recontextualizing them for different formats. I've ended up fixing errors or changing my mind about things, which of course is a perfect illustration, ha ha ha, pun, of my whole there's no such thing as finished artwork, because you go back to something, you're going to find that there's stuff that you didn't like about it, or you want to change, or that made sense at the time for whatever reason doesn't make sense later. That's also one of the things I love about art, is that it does have such a fluid nature. There really is not any permanence to art, which on the one hand is not always a good thing, particularly when, oh, you know what? I just realized I made an error. Look at that. I didn't, oh, no, yes, I made an error. I see what, that's easy to fix though, there. So that's this cloud edge comes all the way like that. So that would, but that does mean that this little piece of glass right here should be, or is it? Wait, let me think about this. That's a light sky. So yes, that should be dark sky. So I did miss one little bit of something. That's easy to fix though, because what I'll do is, let's move this. I can just use a patch of this pre-existing glass and we'll be fine. But that does mean I have to turn everything else off. So let's move this way up. Way up, way up. Come on, get up there. We'll put this here for now. We're going to turn that off. I'm going to erase all the glass. Let me help myself a little bit here by doing that. Let's erase all the glass except for the part I need to utilize. The rest can go. So let's get rid of all that. All this goes away. Thank you. Okay, now we'll move this glass back down to where it's supposed to be, which is right there. We'll turn this back on. We're still on that layer. Let's get rid of everything I don't need except for literally one tiny, tiny little sliver. One sliver of anything that I'm using out of this whole group of red. That's all. So we do this. And this is the cloud. So, oh, actually, yeah, I don't need this. What am I doing? I don't need this. What I need to do is I need to invert the glass. That was a whole pointless thing. Turn that back on. It's the glass part. So, where is my glass? Dark sky glass, rain glass. So it would have to be sky glass. There it is. It's this one. So I'm going to duplicate this one. So I got to go back to here. Oh, the things you have to do. And I only need to get rid of the glass. The rest of it, whoop, fix that error too. Get rid of that. Okay, now we will invert. Turn this off. This all goes away. All this goes away. Go away. By the way, thank you, Will, for providing that, because I have no idea what I'm doing, so I would not have figured that out. I would have just been sitting here trying to figure out if there were somehow 100 people and I didn't realize it, which again, it really doesn't matter. I'm not tracking user counts or anything like that. It's just kind of confusing. It's one of those things where you sit there and it's like, well, it doesn't really matter necessarily, and it does not, but it is kind of confusing when you don't know what's going on. So there are enough things that this program is confusing me on, but again, I really don't foresee the need to ever get a bigger program. Okay, there's still some in there. Let's do this. Let's break out the huge brush. Oh, there it is. That's what was missing. This. There we go. That should shrink it down to about there. And honestly, we only need that. There we go. Perfect. Bring that brush down. Okay. And now, all we got to do is invert. Wait, did I erase? I did. I erased too much. I can see it. I can see I erased too much. You know what? Now I'm being the fool. What I really just need to do is grab the glass brush. This is going to be much, much faster. I should have just done this from the beginning, so I apologize. I should have just done this right from the start. Okay. Okay. So here you're going to see how I create the glass. Very simple. Take a liquefy. Swirl it until I get the nice swirls I like. There we go. That's perfect. Now, take the eraser. Let's erase everything else. We're going to erase inside. This does not get swirled. Okay, let's do this. Let's bring this down. So this is what I mean about this is what I do for each part of the glass. Let me make sure I actually, yes. So now I can just do an invert of that. There's my white glass. On the other white glass, what did I do? 50%. So I need to 50% this. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a quick merge down. There's my light glass. Done, done, and done. So the only thing I need to do is just finish getting rid of the dark sky glass in the red clouds. The clouds should not be red. They're supposed to be a dark gray, but they do retain their own color. Right, there we go. Again, I don't even know who would notice something like that. Probably nobody but me. But I would notice it, and it would bug me. And it'd be one thing where if later I realized I needed to do it, I'd rather just get it done. Oh, look at that. I missed a little piece of something right there. Okay, there we go. Let's fix that. So we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of this. And then, so I missed a little bit of red there. That's interesting. Let's take a look at that. That's in the colors section. Yep. Okay. Either I went over on something. I did. So I just need to get rid of a very, very small part of a cloud right there because it's obscuring the sun's red. Fixed. There again, would anybody else have seen that? I don't know. Somebody probably would have. Somebody might have noticed it. So I'd rather just get it done with and not have to worry about it. A little bit of glass there. Whoops, wrong layer. Let's just get rid of that. We have the smaller brush anyway, so I don't have to worry about going crazy. Okay, so all the red cloud. Oh, nope, missed a bit. Let's get you. Yep, okay. Well, I didn't erase the lightning on the other ones, so... Oh, yeah, I did. No, I did. That's okay. That doesn't matter. The lightning has its own texture. I'm not too worried about the coloring being different on the lightning, because that... Even I didn't notice that, so... Okay. Think we're good. Yes. Okay. So, where are we on the time? Okay. We got about 15 minutes. Because I actually have to get breakfast going. It is very early here. It is 8:43 in the a.m. So, early here on the west coast of the United States of America. An early... Oh! I see it. I see it. I think it happened right when I switched images. So, really, it wasn't like that for long. There we go. Okay. So, let's grab our gray brush. And we'll jump back to here. Okay. Give that a minute. And we should see it again. There we are. Perfection. Illinois. Okay. I believe it's this. Well, actually, I think those colors aren't right. Let me sample this color right there. Got it. All right, now let's get to our little tiny pen. I think this is probably still... Yep, that's at the right level. Let's do some lines. Nice, I can see things. Yeah, sorry. Hopefully it wasn't off that long. Like I said, there's just enough little irritations that every so often I think I should just start learning OBS or something like that. But at the same time, I just don't... I don't know. I probably will at some point. It's like it's just trying to learn one more thing, and I know it's like, I'll just shut up and learn it. I get that. Let me turn my keyboard off so I can lean this. Hold on. But it's just one more friggin' thing. But at some point, I probably will have to at least consider it. And it's too bad, because I really, honestly, think this tool for a free tool from Twitch works fairly well. I mean, it really is a good full-featured tool. It does 95% of things really easily. I mean, there's little quirks to it. There always are. Any program is going to have its little eccentricities, so I don't really mind that. And Will, you can appreciate this probably better than people who don't necessarily work with behind the scenes software and stuff. You have to have a little bit of allowance, because these are complex programs doing a lot of things. OBS is pretty easy to know how it will work for. Yeah, I think that's that's what I mean is I think what I probably have to do is find somebody else who does a type of stream like this that's using OBS and probably find out what the quirks to it are, what I have to look at. Because I know I've talked to a few people that aren't doing art streams though. So they're doing something a little different. But I've heard that there are, I'm not going to say equal headaches. Let's just say that every program has its own personality profile. Let's put it like that, because I don't like, being down on developers who are trying just to make the best thing. Software development is difficult. That's why I'll never do it, because I don't have a head for that kind of stuff, and I never will. So for me, just making HTML work is almost a roll the dice many days. So I'm not gonna criticize people, unless they're being actively greedy and or lazy about things. And honestly, even if they were, I don't have the ability to be able to tell that. I can't. I don't have the mind or the expertise to be able to tell when a developer is being lazy or is trying the best they can. And I really don't want to start criticizing people if I don't know the difference. It's easy to tell that in some things because I can see it or know it. There are places I can tell that type of thing. Software development, it ain't one of them. So I will simply say that I don't know whether, and even this, it does work well enough. It's just strange again that I'm hitting 80+% CPU utilization on this tool or program, whatever term you want to use. I call it tool because it's allowing for things to happen, but program, same difference. Whereas when I use the same thing on my PC, which, as I said, I think in my last stream, my PC is geared a little bit differently. This is a Mac I'm on now. This is a MacBook Pro, an M1, but not the highest end one. Maybe the highest end one, it would handle it differently, but I really don't think so. I don't think it's a matter of, I don't feel like this is a power problem. I feel like this is an optimization problem. Again, I'm speaking as somebody who knows nothing, but it feels to me like my 4-year-old PC, unless it is literally a RAM issue. That's the only other thing I can think of. And I'm sorry if this is now turning into tech talk on the art stream, but this is what's happening, and I don't have any other particular stories for this fine morning yet, so I can't. By the end of the day, we'll see. Today will be. I had said this on maybe 2 streams ago. This is the busiest podcast week I've had, probably. Period. Today will be my 5th show. But it's gone smoothly. I've had no problems. So I'm not complaining because I like doing shows with people. I like talking to people. So, but I don't have anything else at this point in the morning to talk about. So we're going to talk about computer stuff. So yeah, on my 4-year-old machine, which really I would only say, yeah, it's, you know what? It's been really fun. I have continued my streak of, and actually one of the shows that's going to be coming out will be of particular interest to you. Maybe. It will, what other people besides me, speaking of stuff where I don't know anything, I did a show with Joe Modulewski and Audie, who Will Judd, of course, knows, Audie Sorley from Limited Run Games, where we talk about the carbon, what is that? What would the description be? Tool? The carbon framework? So many wonderful terms for things in technology, even though if I don't know what they all mean. But anyway, I was completely at sea. I didn't know what I was saying. I mean, I knew what I was saying. I was asking questions, but I don't, in some ways, there are times where I feel like I'm doing people, I'm doing people a disservice because I don't have the understanding. But then I wonder, okay, maybe not having the understanding lets me avoid asking certain things in a way that normal, I don't know. I sometimes wonder if being a dummy helps me with shows, or does it make it worse? I don't know. Because, some of the stuff that Joe was explaining was clearly going over my head. And I made no secret of that. I don't pretend like I know anything. So I tried to ask things that are kind of straightforward, and I don't want to say everyman. That makes it sound like I'm trying to be folksy, which I'm not, but there is a limit to my knowledge in many spaces, and So I don't know if my questions, Joe and Audie would be too nice to say anything, but I may have come off as an adult with some of the stuff I was asking. Some of it may have just been like, yeah, Captain Obvious. Of course it's doing this, this, or this. So I don't know. But it was a fun show for me. So, Um, but yeah, I mean, I have run the whole spectrum in terms of subject matter this week. Because, let's see, the Tuesday show was about technology, but like consumer level technology in particularly, well, it was with Mr. Mobile, but we didn't really talk about cell phones all that much or mobile technology. We were really talking about data privacy. That show's already out. And what was the other thing? What was the other one? There was, an AI generated art. So that was that show. And New York City, because he lives in New York City. And of course, I'm from New York, so we spent a little time on New York and boating. I haven't heard it, but the kind of stuff. Well, I hope so, Will. I really do, because what's the best way to explain this? I try to understand can I find these shows? Oh yeah, they're posted on the other Twitter. Okay, you know what? Actually, here's the easiest way. I believe if you go to, I will check this. So I'm going to pause drawing. I believe, because I've reserved. Give me a second. I think if you go to ozonelatenight.com, that takes you straight to the late night archive. I believe I have that properly redirected. I will put that in the chat moment. Yes, it is. Okay. So what you do is, here, let me put this in the chat very briefly, just in case anybody else benefits from this. Power my keyboard on, and then actually, select the chat window. Okay. So if you go here, sorry about the typing in the background, right? That's the, yeah. So the Audie Joe show is not out yet. That will be out on 10/3. I got to space these out a little bit. Otherwise, it's just going to become a saturation bomb of shows. So Michael Fisher, the first part of that one is out and is there. So yeah, I hope there is a value to that, because I find the stuff interesting. So it's not like I'm, my interest is fueled in knowing more. I'm not asking questions and then not listening to the answers. But there are times where I hope I'm not coming off too dumb, I guess. So hopefully it does. I hope I'm asking at times questions that might not occur to... It's kind of like engineers. I deal with software engineers all day. And engineers talking among themselves, there's a shorthand, there's an understanding, there's things that get skipped over because you don't repeat basic concepts to other engineers. You just assume, rightly or wrongly, that those other people, and this is generally true, have a basic understanding. But then you try to translate that to somebody who's not in engineering, and boy, does it get messy. So that's kind of what I hope I'm doing a lot of times is, trying to massage that properly where people who are not in the space still get the value and understand, because, carbon's an amazing thing. And so that was where I got into, trying to tease out what that would mean to somebody who just wants to play video games, really isn't interested in the underlying tech, which is fantastic. It's really, really cool. But, I don't know. So we didn't cover probably many of the challenges in building carbon in, some of the stuff. And I know at one point I asked a question that Joe had said, and I was fine with this, very upfront. He said, well, I'm going to have to give you a PR answer because, I can't reveal too much. Well, somebody within the industry probably wouldn't have, and I wasn't asking for state secrets or anything. I wasn't trying to get him to reveal anything that's, going to clandestine. But a question I asked probably somebody like yourself, Will, or somebody who does this type of thing all the time. And for those who tune in later or don't know, Will is part of Digital Foundry, which is a group of individuals who do heavy analysis of game technology, how games, different hardware, software, that type of thing, evaluation of games, performance. And so you will know what things probably better than I would, not to necessarily ask or ask in a specific way to avoid making somebody have to give a PR answer. I don't have that. So again, I was very clear right after I asked whatever that question was, and I don't remember it offhand. But I said, well, I'm not trying to get you to say something that's going to, compromise anything, because I'm not. So that's where it's like, well, yeah, they're my kind of knowledge might be a detriment, but I think when I try to translate some of these things into an easy to understand format. I hope it's beneficial. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I just like to talk to people I find interesting. That's what I do. Because frankly, I'm a non-extroverted person, so my interactions socially are generally through the shows. That's just how it is. Or stuff like this, where, in a non-in-person medium, I'm just not built for it. Just not really built, for that. So, what time are we? Okay, well, we're probably at a good point. Not necessarily a good point. I did mean to start this earlier. I just kind of ran into a few things. I don't actually know what the iPad's power level is at either, but I know it's certainly under the halfway point, which is unusual. Normally, I hit under 50%, and I make sure it's charged, but, sometimes that's how it goes. So this is going to be a relatively short stream, but I am going to start trying to do some earlier streams maybe on the weekend, because I do know that not everybody can make the streams, particularly during the week, because they tend to be later. So, and as and I get everybody's in different time zones, and I do want people, even though they can watch it afterwards. And again, I do put all these up on the YouTube page, the show's YouTube pages, so you can always watch these later, because I know the 60-day archive on Twitch probably means, I don't know whether people actually get a value of watching these. These are probably more evergreen than some of the other stuff that we put up on our YouTube page, but oh man, this is going to take a long time. This is going to take a long time anyway. So hopefully this isn't like watching paint dry either, but that is the process. But I do think the rings are working out better. Oh, and somebody's just joined, and I'm going to be ending the stream in like 3 minutes. Sorry, whoever just joined. I'm sorry. I poorly planned this stream. I will admit, this is my fault. I poorly planned this. I'm going to try to aim to have this to get started on time next time, so that I can, be up and running. I do also have a bunch of stuff that I have to do today, so my time's a little more compressed than usual. So, but back to this. I do like these rings. I think the rings are good. I think the rings are going to work out better than, again, I still have this layer. I may still do a version of this. I don't know. Well, thanks for stopping by, Will. I really appreciate it, man. I'm glad that this is entertaining, because I really have no frame of reference. Of course, the thing died again. Well, I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to bring it back before I end the show, man. I'm not going to have it end on that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that people who stop into this thing seem to actually legitimately enjoy it. That's great, because I really obviously have no idea what I'm doing. So it's nice that people actually get something out of this. And I hope people, from the squiggle stuff, just go do art, because I just want people to do creative stuff. I think it's very beneficial. I certainly know it helps me, and I'd love for people to have a creative outlet. So, okay, I've rambled on for a while now, but I've got to go and start cooking breakfast. So, yeah, again, next time I'll try to do this for a little bit closer to an hour, at least have a better structure to it. But I'm going to charge the iPad now, and yeah. So thanks for stopping by and watching. And again, I do put these up on the YouTube channel. So if you want to go back, I've put every single one I've done from the beginning is up on the YouTube channel, which I can put let me put the link here, because that's probably a good idea. Let me very quickly find that link for everybody, and I will tell you where that is. So hold on. I mean, you could just go to YouTube and look for Ozone Art Foundry, but I'll pop it in here too really quickly before I stop. So give me a moment. Let me find it. And just, I probably should. You know what I'm going to start doing? See, the problem is I don't have a vanity thing, which, I'm just not going to get to probably anytime soon, because you have to have I think 100 subscribers. But that's okay, because I can just here it is. I will put this link in the chat so that people have it. So there it is. That's the YouTube page where everything lives. So if you go there, you're going to see everything art-wise. I'll just try to remember to keep putting that in the chat for everybody. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of the Sunday, wherever you are within it. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to now shut up and say thanks again for stopping by, and have a good rest of your whatever it is. Take care.